Welcome back to another episode of the Rotator Cuff Expert. Today we're going to talk about nutrition, specifically nutrition after post-op. So after shoulder surgery, what's important? This is going to be a several episode series. We're going to kind of break it down a little simple first, and we'll get into some more details of specific nutrition, proteins, carbohydrates, that kind of stuff in another episode. But today we talk about nutrition, and we also kind of talk about more generalized body health and what happens after shoulder surgery, what's important for you to do and not to do after surgery. So nutrition is important, but under nutrition, we think about well-being, right? The generalized well-being of you after surgery. So that's super important for us to look at. So that really means we talk about rest, decreased stress, and bowels. And those kind of fall under the generalized idea of nutrition. So rest, we need to make sure you can rest. We make sure that you can rest at night specifically. You have to get sleep. If you get great nutrition but no sleep, it doesn't really matter, or it doesn't matter as much, because that sleep is super important. Sleep is where we repair the body, and you've had a big trauma to the body, albeit a controlled trauma, still trauma to the body. So we need to let that body recover, and a great way to recover is sleep. So you're gonna sleep more in the next few days after surgery, and that's okay. It's almost like going through a marathon. My wife and I do marathons and triathlons, and when we are done the day after a triathlon or a marathon, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing a lot. Expect that sensation, that feeling after surgery, because it is a big stress to go to sleep for anesthesia, have that shoulder surgery, that surgeon doing the stuff. It's a stress to your body. You're gonna have your temperature elevate because of what is done, the stress, the body responds to it that way, elevates your temperature. So if you have low grade temperature, that's what we expect. That's why we say if it's below 101.5, typically it's usually not an issue. It's just your body's response to having surgery, having stress. Same thing if you were going to get your blood count right after surgery, you'd see your white blood count goes up. Again, that's not because of infection or anything, it's about the reaction, the body's reaction to your surgery. So we want to minimize that stress. So we already got stress, we have stress because of the surgery, because of what we've done during surgery, because of the incisions and the work we've done inside the shoulder. So we want to minimize the rest of the stress. So what do? Well, you rest, right? You sleep. You sleep more during the day, hopefully. You sleep more during the night. So we have to get you into a comfortable position. There's a video that I have about that and how to become comfortable after surgery, and it's hard because there's lots of pieces to that. The biggest thing is be able to get in a comfortable position. So that means you got to have enough pillows around you to stabilize you, make you feel comfortable. Perhaps a recliner to help get you in and out of bed, in and out of the sleep position more easily. Wedges, there's certain wedges that you can get that can help you. In addition to pillows, they're a little bit more firmer than pillows. So those wedges can help you get some rest. There's lots of things that can help you get rest. And one other thing is actually pain medicine, right? I mean, unfortunately, right now we're in an epidemic of narcotic pain medicine use. That being said, when we have surgery, we need to be able to control the pain. If we can't control the pain, then you can't rest. If you can't rest, then you can't recover. So we have to be wise with how much pain medicine we're taking, but in the same respect, we need to make sure we take enough so we can sleep, so we can rest. The second thing is stress. We want to minimize the stress, and it's going to be stressful. It's always stressful. Stressful for the patient, stressful for the family. Oh my gosh, mom just had surgery. What are we going to do? Dad just had surgery. What are we going to do? How is he going to be able to survive this recovery? So we want to minimize that stress after surgery too. So a lot of this in preparation, right? In preparation before surgery. We don't want to figure it all out when we get home from surgery. We want to have a plan in place before we get home. We want to make sure we have the recliner there. We want to make sure that we have meals made if the primary meal maker is not active or is the surgery person. Then we want to make sure that we have meals ready for the family afterwards. We want to make sure we're ready for the shower, make sure we have all the pieces, the loofah, the pump soap, the half inflated ball we can put underneath the arm so we can get underneath the arm to prepare and to clean our underarm. We need to make sure we have all our post-op pain medicines ready for us. We may make sure we know the sequence of events or sequence of time that we give those pain medicines. So all this stuff becomes very stressful, and everybody knows when a stressful situation comes out, people get a little short. The caretaker gets a little short because they're stressed. They're not sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. The surgery person gets a little short because they're worried that everything's not happening the way they think it should happen. So what we need to do is be able to take that stress away the best we can. Just take a deep breath, understand that things will be okay. We have to relax, and perhaps some other things, meditation, books, movies, all those kind of things to kind of relax and lighten the mood a little bit. And make sure that we're ready and we're prepared. So minimize that stress after surgery by being prepared before surgery. And then lastly, there's stress of your system. And so this is what we're going to kind of talk about in the next few episodes about the nutrition they're putting in your body. So there's some generalized ideas, not specifically how much calories should you take in or how much carbohydrates or proteins. All those are important. We want to really make sure we're doing some kind of basic stuff. We want to make sure we're taking our pain medicines so that we can get that rest and decrease that stress. When we take those pain medicines, we have issues with pain medicines, most likely. One, it may be harder to sleep or you get more uneasy sleep. So make sure we take the pain medicines when it's the most beneficial. And if it's not beneficial, if it makes it harder to sleep, do one of two things. One, not take it when you're about ready to sleep. And two, talk to your doctor, talk to your provider about, well, is there something else I can take, right? That would be also include, did you get anti-nausea medicine? So if you take the pain medicine, you get nauseous, and then that sets a whole different episode. Shoulder surgery is problematic enough, and if you have shoulder surgery and you're vomiting, that's a really big problem or an additional problem. Make sure you talk to your physician about if you are really sensitive to pain medicine, or you really have a really sensitive stomach, make sure that they give you some anti-nausea medicines after surgery, or at least they can call them in if you have that problem afterwards. Very easy to call into the pharmacy, at least in the US, call in the pharmacy, Zofran, Compazine, whatever, to minimize that nausea stuff. And you can take that nausea medicine before you take your pain medicine. Fiber, right? Fiber, that's super important. Fiber in your foods, so green leafy vegetables or a fiber supplement like Citrusal or Metamucil, to give that fiber in that helps you go so you don't get constipated. Because again, it's not good to vomit after shoulder surgery, and it's certainly not good to be constipated after shoulder surgery. Last thing you want to do is have to the emergency room because of constipation after shoulder surgery. So make sure you go, and make sure if you're not going, you are being preemptive about how to make yourself get that regular movement again. So if you're not, please don't hesitate to talk to your physician, your surgeon, before it's 4, 5, 6 days down the road and you haven't had a bowel movement. Then it's very difficult to take care of that. If we know 1 or 2 days, and you typically go every day, there are some things that we can recommend to get you regular again, so that we don't deal with that issue. So pain medicine problem, fiber, make sure lots of fiber if you can, if that's safe for you. Make sure you take lots of liquids in, fluids, that helps also. So if you're taking some fiber, you're taking some fluids, that will help ease your body too. And lastly, stool softener. Now, depending on your situation, your GI situation, you may or may not be able to take stool softeners. Talk to your doctor about that. Stool softeners are not active, which means they don't push the gut. And so there are some things that do that. Stool softeners are just kind of one more thing, sort of like the fiber, that gives it a little bit easier to go. It won't be a stimulant. In general, we would like to avoid stimulants if we can. Now, sometimes we need them in the end. If we can't go, we may use a stimulant, but that's not our first line. So talk to your doctor, especially if you're having any issues, with nausea, having issues with vomiting, having issues with constipation, anything, please talk to your doctor. There's going to be someone there, whether it's the nurse or the advanced provider or the physician, who can help you through it. Don't wait too long. The last thing I want to do is find out 5 days down the road from a surgery that my patient had to go to the emergency room to get disimpacted for constipation, when maybe we could have controlled that and prevented that 2 or 3 days after surgery. Okay, so this is part 1 of nutrition. This is basic nutrition. We'll get into some more details about how much protein, how much vitamins, vitamin C, blah, 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 all that stuff in the next episodes. But right now, this is probably the most important thing. You need to be able to get comfortable, minimize stress, and you need to have regular bowels. And those are the first 3 big things. After that, we'll talk about the rest and the other details about nutrition. So thanks for watching. Please press like, please subscribe. Any questions, any comments, any other episodes you'd like me to talk about, please let me know in the comments, and we'll talk to you soon. And I'm going to try to talk slower. I had a comment just the other day. Please, doc, talk slower. Sorry, I get excited. I'm excited about giving this information, so I will try to talk slower. Thanks again. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.